Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Enterprise Agility Champs. The topic is the coach in Agile Coach, myths, gaps, and opportunities. And this is presented and facilitated by Nash Tripathi, who is a PCC. He's an Agile coach, trainer, and community builder. So what is this topic about, right? So Agile, the Agile coach role is often very misunderstood because there are so many different facets that are involved with Agile coaching. There's mentoring, there's guiding, there is training, and then there's actual coaching. And it's often confusing, where to use which technique. And in general, it is not a very well understood art and science. And in today's session, Nash is going to bust some of those myths. He's going to share some points of view that he's going to bring, and share some of the experiences that he's had. And I believe that he is planning to make this a very engaging session. So I highly encourage everyone to participate, be on camera. You can also put questions in the chat window. But together, we're going to learn from Nash. So are you guys ready to welcome our speaker for this evening, Nash Tripathi?
Welcome, Nash.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. And Toby, dude, I didn't know that you're gonna say so much of good things about me. I thought we goes way back, and I was like, damn, I don't know what he's gonna say. But
it's okay. You can pay him later. Pay him later.
I might change my mind after half an hour, but right now I'm feeling good about you, Nash.
Yeah, depending on what I'm gonna say in the session, right? Yeah,
we might have to go back to bad jokes, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah. So the way Toby explained this topic, and I have a similar thought, and I will share this with all honesty. This whole idea was actually planted by this guy who just introduced me, Toby himself. We were in a meetup, and he started pinging me, and then he started thinking, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I was like, dude, just stop bothering me. I just replied something. So he just shut off and stopped asking questions on the chat. And then it intrigued me a lot. And then we started having a conversation, and we thought, let's do this and see what we came up with and see what we make this of. So this is a very new idea, which I am looking through my PCC angle. And if you don't know what PCC is, it's a professional certified coach from ICF. ICF is International Coach Federation. They have their own coaching definition. So I'm looking this Agile coach from that PCC angle, and I'm gonna share some of my experience. I'm gonna share some of my thoughts. And you all 38 of us are welcome to share your views anytime you want. If you have questions, don't hold those questions. Let me know the question right away. And if that question is gonna derail me from my planned material, I'm gonna stop you, and I'm gonna get to that question later. Everybody okay with that? So far, so good? Yeah. All right. Cool. So let's see. Here. Let me ask you one question real quick. And the question is, you guys can still hear me, right? Give me a note or something if you guys can hear me. I switched the camera, so
Yes,
just making sure
we
that
can
you guys
hear you.
All right. Cool. So the question is, why we have a need to name each and everything? Why do we name each and everything? You know what? When I was setting it up, I was thinking this gonna fall. It fell.
To give it a purpose?
To give it a purpose, okay?
To identify it.
To identify it. Good one.
To figure out where it fits.
To figure out, explore that a bit more. Like, how can you say that in a different way? Just one word. One word.
Categorize.
Categorize. What else? I forgot you guys are here. What else? Quickly, 2 more, 3 more. We have 40 people and we should have 40 words in here, but we are looking for only what, 5 or 2 more. Why we as humans, why we feel, sorry, I spoke over you.
Familiarize it.
Familiarize it.
Certainty.
Say that one more time. I missed the word.
Certainty.
Certainty. Okay. These all things collectively, how they help us. So think from that angle. Why do we have a need to name each and everything? Because of our communication. It is extremely efficient and logical when we name something. We have a common understanding. We have a common purpose to think about, hey, you talking about that? I'm talking about that. Let's go. So we can communicate with each other. We have a definition and we can identify and have an image. Just think from this angle. If I say, oh, I wanted to go there in a car and I went there and I came back. Did any picture come in your brain? No. If I say I sat in a red color car, I went from home, my house, to one Laden, sat there, ate ice cream of color pink, came back home in the same car, color blue, and I sat on my couch. What did any picture come now? Why? Because we have the words which you can identify, which you can categorize, and you are familiar with those words. So these words are very much required for us to communicate with each other. And each and every word has a meaning of it. Now, the reason I'm going with this, because the word coach has a certain meaning, and we will go there in few minutes. Before this, if you guys can see this, tell me what this is.
Black cat.
Black cat. Anybody else?
My
Anybody
glasses
see
are
it, the
failing me, Nash. We need a zoom. It looks like a dinosaur from where I am.
All right, hold on. How about if I show this?
Oh, there we go. Black
A
cat.
cat playing with something?
All right, so it's a cat. How about this one?
The dog.
How about this one?
Golf clubs.
Golf clubs.
Kitchen utensils.
There you go. Golf. Second last one. Just stay with me. Oh, well, hold on to this one. How about this?
Toby.
Toby?
It's a hippie.
Clown.
Clown. Toby. Okay. Well, I think we already have a use case, but one more. This is the last one.
Zebra.
Tiger.
Tiger.
So zebra, tiger. When I showed it to my son, you know what he said? Cow. Literally, he said cow. So the purpose of this is just to show, even you have a mental picture of something, even though you know what that is, the perception could change. This is a black cat. Yes, this is a dog. This in here, golf, kitchen utensils. Until unless we agree what this is and we have a common understanding of what this is, then only we can step forward for a communication, for an argument, or for a decision. This is the guy we know. If we are talking about Toby, then we are talking about Toby. If this is some other guy, then we should not be talking about this guy. Same thing in here. Is this a zebra? I am talking about tiger. But you who said zebra, if I'm talking to you about tiger, will you have the same perception? No. Tiger, cow. So we have a need to name each and everything because we want to have identification. We want to have a familiarization of what we are talking about. And we want to build a mental picture and ensure that you and I talking about the same thing. This word has a bigger problem in relation to what we just discussed. What do you think a coach is?
A mentor.
A mentor. What else?
A partner.
I missed the word. Say that one more time.
A partner.
A partner?
Yeah, someone you can partner with.
Mm-hmm.
A teacher.
A teacher.
Brings awareness.
Unravel this a bit more. Clarify that for me. No?
I'm trying to think what you mean, because what I mean is that it brings awareness to the other person because they're stuck in a particular view.
Okay. So you're saying that he's the one who helped you get unstuck? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. So how about we say problem solver? Would that be okay?
Sure.
No.
No?
Oh, I don't see it that way, sorry.
Yeah, actually, I agree. Actually, now I think about it, no, because it's a coach doesn't solve somebody's problems.
Does he give you perhaps a viewpoint, a different point of view?
Or is it a problem highlighter?
Guidance.
Problem highlighter.
I was gonna say they guide you to solutions.
So you're saying guider, okay?
A trainer. Confidence builder.
Confidence builder.
A transformer.
So he's the transformer, means he can transform. Sorry, bad joke. Bad joke.
About a listener.
You broke up a bit when you said that word.
A listener. Listens.
Listener. Okay. So see, we just talking about one person, right? Who is the coach? See how many different interpretations we have. So many different interpretations. Specifically, I would highlight few. This one right here. And this one right here. And sometimes, which you have seen in your organization, I'm going to highlight that one too in here, is this one. Therapist. As a coach, what we do when two of your team members are fighting with each other, they are not getting along with each other. As a coach, what do we do?
You shouldn't be a therapist. You should be more of a liaison or a facilitator.
Referee.
Okay.
Leader.
So referee, I think I'm taking it. How you spell referee?
E-R-E-E.
All right, either way. Yeah. All right. Now therapy is let's see a different example then.
Facilitator.
Facilitator. Go. Yeah, that's a good one too. Are we missing something crucial? I don't think so, but I think, yeah. I want to give an example for therapists too, but I guess I'm gonna keep it for later. Because the way I see it, that example is falling in there, but I'm gonna keep it so I can use it for later part of our presentation. Same person, same coach, different interpretation. Has anybody Googled the definition of coach based on dictionary? What does it say?
Mine says expensive leather bag for ladies.
That's a thing. We are talking about a person. Well, the definition based on dictionary, it says that is a teacher, it's a coach, it's a trainer, and it's basically a person who gives you so many other skills, can train you in relation to that. However, how many of you actually looked into ICF definition of coaching? What a coach is and what the coaching is specifically? Anybody? This is open to all.
It's two things depending on which generation of the ICF coaching. It's either someone that helps people find the solution for themselves, or helps somebody transform so that they can continue working on that for themselves.
That's good. That's a good one. That summarizes their thought process. Yeah. ICF coaching definition is pretty simple. It's a partnership between coachee and the coach. It's a thought-provoking and creative process which inspires the individual to maximize personal and professional potential. That's it. That's their definition of coaching. Now, how we interpret it, there's so many ways. So many ways of it. How they defined it, again, I would say it's a mouthful, but let's see if I can remember it. It's a partnership between coach and coachee for a thought-provoking and creative process which inspires to maximize personal and professional potential. That means, somebody said it, it unblocks your own hidden biasness and whatever you cannot see by yourself. It's a communication between the two to unblock those so you can identify what you need to remove from your own success. That's what it is. And remember, we were talking about all of this. Mentor here. Mentor definition is totally different when it comes to comparing with coaching. Teacher definition is totally different when we compare this with coaching. What is mentor? I was reading somewhere like 2 days back, the way it was explained, upload and download. coaching or coach means you are downloading the information from the coachee. Mentoring means you are uploading the information to the coachee. It's totally opposite. Mentoring means you are bringing someone up to the speed, up to your level, because he wants to become someone with who you are. Teacher means that the person with whom you are teaching something, they lack some skills. You are working with the person to teach them the skill which they are lagging. Therapist, we all know what therapist is, which is totally different. Facilitator, this is a little bit, I would say, yes, it makes sense when you're doing a group coaching, but in one-on-one interaction, definitely you are not a facilitator. As a coach, sorry, not if you are the coach. So now we understand the coaching. What is the ICF definition of coaching, which is totally different from mentoring, which is totally different from teaching, which is totally different for consulting. Now, who can tell me the difference between coaching and consulting? What you guys think? What do we do in consulting, by the way?
So you're more of a problem solver.
Problem solver. Problem solver.
You're brought in as expertise to solve a problem.
You're brought in as an expert to solve a problem, right? Right. And you're doing assessments to figure out where the problem is. You're doing RCAs. What RCA stands for? Root cause analysis. You're asking a lot of why questions. You are giving advice to a person or to a company. You're doing all of this. This is not coaching. As a coach, you don't do that. You never ask why question as a coach, because coach always looks forward and never goes back. As a coach, in ICF definition of coaching, as a coach, what you do is you assume your coachee has each and everything what they need for their own success. Whatever has happened in past happened in past. We are not looking at it. We are looking for future. What are they going to do to change their future? And you have complete trust in your coachee. Consulting is totally different. So we talked about mentoring, teaching, we talked about therapists, and we talked about consulting. These are the main blockers for you as a coach to succeed in the coaching role. And I will tell you my personal story, my two personal stories, which are heartbreaking for me. And I learned it in hard way. I was running behind PCC as an ICF credentialized coach since 2015. And I was so much into it, so dig deep, and I was living by the ICF definition of coaching. In 2017, I was working with a company, and I started asking all of these questions to unravel their blockers, to understand why they are not able to become more agile, and to understand what are the blockers. Within 1 week, I was fired. Why? Because number one, their understanding of coaching was different. They were thinking that I'm going to give them advice. They were thinking that I'm going to solve their problem for them. That's not the coaching I understood. That's not what I was going for it. They were hiring somebody else. I was going over there as someone else, and we never did that handshake. We never aligned in our communication. Their definition of coaching was different. My definition of coaching was, and I was gone within 1 week. Same story repeated in 2017 and 2017, when my wife was pregnant, and I went to that engagement. 3 weeks, I survived 3 weeks in that engagement, and I was gone. And the basic reason was for that engagement to just cut short, because I asked a coach who was the Agile coach one question. what are the benefits of having daily scrum by standing up? She thought that I'm asking questions on her beliefs. She couldn't answer that question. Why? What are the benefits of having daily scrum by standing up? And when I say daily scrum, she asked, what is daily scrum? Then she clarified, oh, it's daily stand up. So all of that, when I started those questions, I was gone 3 weeks. So my definition was wrong there too. And then I did a little retrospective and I figured out a way to ensure that my going forward, all the engagements, going to be a little bit more sustainable and for longer terms. And we will get to that, my 5-step process, which I encounter for my own personal growth. As before we go in there, how many of you know Agile Competency Framework? Agile Coaching Competency Framework. Anybody? No one? No one looked at it? No one knows what this is?
Yeah, that's the Lisa Atkins one with coaching, mentoring, domain knowledge, expertise.
Yeah, the one that looks like an X-wing from Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, who can fill in the dots for me? And I'm here to support you.
Lean Agile practitioner. Let's get the basic one.
First one in here is Lean Agile Lean practitioner.
And then on the left, I think teaching and mentoring.
Correct. Right. Teaching, mentoring,
professional coaching.
Professional coaching.
And facilitating.
Facilitator. What do we have here?
Domain expertise.
Domain expertise. What are those 3 domains?
Technical skills.
Technical. Two more.
Business.
Business.
Business. Last one.
Transformation.
Transformation. There you go. And if we look at this is the Agile Coaching Competency Framework, right? The problem, based on my experience talking to multiple Agile coaches, when they treat this rather than having a competency framework as an Agile Coach implementation framework. When you take this as what this is, and you go for an Agile coaching engagement, and you take it by heart and you just go for it, and you start saying, hey, you know what, I have this area expertise, and I will implement this for you to be better, for you to be agile. I have expertise in this. I will transform your organization. You're going there as an expert. Based on ICF coaching definition and based on my experience, forget about ICF. Based on my experience, if you really, really want to transform someone or an organization, you have to turn them into them. No, you don't have to turn them into you. And that's the differentiation which we need to understand. If you are going as an expert, you have certain expertise, you have certain knowledge, you have certain ways of doing things. When you go with that biasness, what you do, you start turning them into you, and then you go away. What happens after that? What will happen if you're not there? They will go back to their old ways of doing things, right? So that's why we don't. And I have a specific example for this. Last year, I did the flooring. I got my flooring changed. And the guy who came, who was very experienced in doing the flooring work, he didn't check with me what I wanted. He didn't even check the material which I had. He came, he changed the flooring, and he was gone. And I was crying that why I end up paying this much money for extra waterproofing flooring, and with all those nice color each everything which I wanted to have. He just came, he used his expertise, he used his knowledge, and he just did what he needed to do and just go away. The same thing we do as an Agile coach. We gotta stop that. We have to go, if you have a knowledge, go and ask what they would like to do. Go and ask how they would like to transform, how they want to achieve, what are the outcomes they want to achieve, and then support them in day-to-day process to achieve their own goal. We go there and we create goals for them. This is my goal as a coach. You should be achieving these goals to be more agile in your organization. Is that what the transformation is? Well, for me, it is not. So here is what I created for myself. And this is a 5-point process, not a process, but it's just a checklist for me. What I do when I have a coaching engagement with an organization or with a team separately. So what I do very first thing is, number one, I clarify. I clarify the engagement level for the role. I check with them, what are they expecting from me? Are they expecting me to be as a coach? Are they expecting me to be as a teacher, as a trainer, or as a facilitator? What they are looking for specifically from that engagement. Then the second thing I do is clear the fog or misunderstanding between coaching, teaching, mentoring, and all those things which we discussed. This helps me bringing that communication gap down. What they are expecting is totally different. And remember, I shared 2 examples where they were thinking the coaching is what coaching is and what I was thinking what coaching is, and there was a gap. This is the step where I bring that gap down to almost 0. I clarify what the coaching is, and I try to understand what their definition of coaching is. After this, we decide whether we want to continue with that engagement or not. There was someone, it's a funny story. They were hiring from a coach and my coaching rates were different. And they said, no, I'm not looking for coach then, because you're not going to give me advice. You're not going to solve my problem for me. You will going to hire, asking me, you were going to ask me to do the hard work for me. So they said, okay, I can work as a consultant too. And this is my rate. And they said, no, that's not going to work because your consultant rates are higher than your coaching rates. Obviously, yes, because if I'm going to do hard work for you, I will have to charge more. As a coach, yes, I can help you unblock your mental biasnesses. But if you're asking me to do the hard work, I'm going to charge you higher. So that's how this piece works out for me, and which helps me in my professional career too. This third step is also crucial, which is create a coaching agreement. Always, I cannot emphasize on this, always create a coaching agreement. What is your expectation? What is their expectation? And add a goal to it. 3 months down the line, 4 months down the line, 6 months down the line, 3 years down the line, what as a company, what as a team, what as a person you would like to achieve. how you see yourself 6 months down the line, 1 month from today, how you will view yourself. Always create a coaching agreement. What are you going to do for them? And then fourth is frequently revisit. Frequently revisit the agreement, whatever you are creating in here. And this in here, if you are familiar with any of the Agile framework, I would just say Scrum for if that helps you visualize my thought process. Frequently revisit the agreement. Remember, we created goal. Every session, every coaching session you do with them, you have a goal to achieve. Those smaller goals for them going to give or achieve bigger goal. Clarify if they achieve what they wanted to achieve with the engagement. Clarify again, clarify again, clarify again. If they're not achieving what they want to achieve, readjust as a coach. And be honest in your engagement, and let them know if you feel that your relationship with the company is not beneficial. Let them know. Be honest. They are not getting the value. They could go and hire a consultant. They could go and hire a facilitator. Be honest with your skill set too, that hey, I am not good as a teacher. I am not good as a consultant. So you can go and check with someone else to get the value. Be honest with what value you bring. So this is what I created to get away from those 2 failures, and what I learned from my 2 failures. So I don't see that, and there will be no impact on my financial status. That was a big jot when my wife was pregnant, and I was really looking hard to make sure that I have food on the table, and I got fired. I had no job for 3 months. There was nothing, excuse me. There was nothing for me for 3 months, and I was pretty much scared. So in order for me to avoid that situation, I created this. So I know I clarified my position. I clearly stated my position, how I want to lead that engagement. And if they're looking for consultant, sure, they're looking for consultant, then I don't have to worry about my coaching thing. I can go and I can advise them. I can be free. I have no worry on that. I created a coaching goal. I created a coaching agreement. I created a plan for them, which we frequently revisited, and we frequently adopted that plan to ensure that they are getting the value what they are looking for from that engagement. This is what I have. We looked at multiple things so far, and it's 7:45. I will take a pause. I have shared so many things. It could be goofy here and there, but I'm happy to take questions, and if you have anything, shoot at me.
Nash, could you talk a little bit more about your perception of the differences between a mentor and a coach?
Yeah, definitely. As I said earlier, my perception of mentor is, so let's take you. Maybe let me come over there. That will be easy. And we are going to do this. Okay. So let's take you as an example, right? If you're coming to me and you're telling me that, hey, Nash, I want to hire you as my mentor, then my first question to you will be, what is that specific thing you looked at me, and why are you picking me as a mentor? And then you will tell me that, hey, you know what, I saw this and you are at this position and you have these skill sets which I would like to have in me. That means mentoring means I am picking you from where you are, placing you at my position. I am mentoring you to become me. I am uploading the information which I have in my brain to your brain. That's what my perception of mentoring is. Now, coaching is this. If you come to me and ask for, hey, Nach, I want to have a coaching conversation with you. All right, sure. What do you have in your mind? Then you will tell me what is your thought process, what you are thinking to achieve. I am going to help you unblock things and give you some thought process so you can identify the solution of your problem by yourself. I'm going to lead you through a process, a thought-provoking process, with a proper. There are so many frameworks. There are 21 frameworks which I have studied when I was looking into PCC. There are so many frameworks which I can give it to you, by which you can go and do some homework, do some exercise to identify what you're looking for. So coaching is basically how can I explain this in an easy way? You defining your own problem, you are defining your own solution, and you are doing the work, and I'm going to hold you accountable. That's what coaching is. Now, what mentoring is, yeah, if you want to become, if you are looking for a mentor, I will just pick you up and put it in my place, and I will just go away. That's what mentoring is. Any other thoughts? Anything coming? Anything blowing in there?
I'm chewing. I'm thinking, to me, my perception is that I'm looking for someone that's better at what I'm doing and can help me get better at doing it. And I think of mentor when I think of that. Coach, I think more of providing the fundamentals and letting me go. So maybe
Providing
it's my perception.
No, I think your perception is right. Your perception is definitely right, with little bit here and there. Mentoring is definitely 100%. You're good. Yes, if you have some gaps in the skill set, as I mentioned, that you are looking for some skills which I have as a mentor. Yeah, I will upload that information in your brain, and suddenly you will have those skills, right? So that's what mentoring is. Coaching, yeah, I will let you go. Once our coaching session is done, you will tell me what you would like to achieve. I will ask the blockers. I will understand why you're not able to achieve those, and how can you avoid those loopholes going forward. And then I will let you go and do your own thing. Yeah, I think you're right on the spot. What else?
Do you feel you need specific technical knowledge in order to be a coach? There's this ongoing discussion that I come across all the time. Some coaches are like, oh, we're totally agnostic. And I come with a heavy software development background, and that's really all I coach in. I dabbled for a while in automotive. So yeah, I feel comfortable in the automotive space. But basically, there's some problem areas that I wouldn't want to coach in because I'm not familiar. So I'm just curious, what's your perspective on that? Do you need domain expertise, or is it completely agnostic?
I'm going to take a little bit of different approach in answering that question. Is that okay, Bill?
Sure.
Will.
Right. That's okay.
Yeah.
He's our next speaker, by the way.
All right. So we looked at the Agile coaching competency framework, right? And I was explaining the problem becomes when you take that competency framework as an implementation framework. Then I was thinking about it, and this is really raw. You're looking at this very first time. It's very raw in my brain, and I'll try to scribble something in here. I'm going to redesign that competency framework in a different way. I'm taking that professional coaching thing, which you saw in there, as a center. Now with that, you have an approach for business transformation. You have an approach for org transformation. And you have an approach for technical transformation. That means you do have expertise in one of these, as that competency framework talks about. Yes, you have expertise in transformation. Yes, I have expertise in business transformation. I have expertise in technical transformation too. However, I am not going to advise you how to transform your technical abilities, how to transform your code. I am going to ask a series of questions. How can you make your own transformation better? You tell me, and I will guide you slowly towards the right path. I will not advise. I will not going to give you a problem or a solution for that problem. I'm going to advise. As long as we stay within that coaching realm, I am okay. The moment we go into the other things, remember the other things were teaching in here, then we had mentoring in here, and then we had teaching, mentoring, facilitator. The moment we touch these things, you are letting go of your professional coaching, because you're going to advise definitely in here. Mentoring, we looked. Teaching, we know what it is. Facilitator, you're going to facilitate in a group setting, but in one-on-one conversation, you're not going to do that. The moment you leave this realm and go over here, you're not coaching. And
yeah, no,
okay.
I totally get that, but let me put the question a different way to you. I've worked, again, because I have a software development background, so I've worked with a lot of coaches that don't have a software development background. And sometimes I take them aside and say, look, we need to talk. You're not asking the right questions. And it always comes down to, they just don't know enough about software development. So they're like, well-intentioned, they're going through the mechanics of coaching, but they're not able to grasp the problem space, just because they don't have that professional experience. Which, by the way, I mean, I think, look, if you would put me as a coach into a nuclear power plant and tell them to advise folks, I'd be like, whoa, I know nothing. Leave me alone. Don't ask me, right? So, but that's the challenge, right? And I try to help, non-technical coaches on the software side. I help them along as much as I can, but I still, and maybe this is software specific or IT specific, once you lose credibility, people sort of write you off, right? So it's always critical that as a coach, you maintain your credibility in the advice that you offer up and how you help people. So how do you get around that? Because I try to do it one-on-one with fellow coaches that I work with or that contact me, but very often they're basically like fish out of water.
Brian,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, Brian, if that's really the bottom half of the competency framework, where we talk about mastery of certain things, where people actually think that you should be a teacher or a trainer, okay, in terms of mastery versus a coach at that time. I'm wondering if the coaching agreement is probably miscued back to point 2, clear up the fog.
So let me quickly get this thought out of my head because I need to answer that question. It's already I'm already losing. So where I was going with that, Bill, was leaving this realm, knowing that you are leaving this realm is okay. As long as you know that you're leaving this coaching realm and you're jumping into these. And definitely, and that's the beauty of Agile Coach. That's the beauty of Agile Coach, which is different from like professional coaching, that you can switch. You can switch and you can let people know that, hey, you know what? You and I are not on the same page. The way I think is different. The way you think is different from technical standpoint. Let me switch hat. Let me teach you some skills. Let me mentor you in a different way. Let me facilitate a conversation with you. And once you and I are on the same page, then we will go back in here. As long as you as a coach know that you're leaving this, as long as you're making it an honest approach to let your coachee know that I am leaving this space, I am wearing a different hat, I'm explaining you something else, and then I'm going to come back to this. As long as that is happening, you're all cool. And make sure you do that. And that's the beauty of Agile Coach. And that's why I love talking about this stuff. Does that answer your question, Brian?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, the perception I have that you've been doing, Ryan, is probably you've been mentoring people on the software development area because you have that expertise. You went that way before. You know how to guide them there. But in coaching, I think it's more important the people skills rather than the hard skills. You need a lot of active listening, stuff like that, to get those powerful questions so you can elevate their potential. You need to know the answers. You need to help them to get the answers. What I do right now is I act as Agile coach for some teams that are building software products that I don't know how to use. I don't even have a user. I don't know how those tools work, but I do coach those teams into getting better communication, into getting a greater commitment, into get them into feel that they own what they're building, rather than that they are building things for someone else. So they take ownership, they build trust among them, they get to know each other, and they work better, even that I don't know the systems they are building.
Yeah, I like it. I like your approach. I think that's a other way of using coaching to achieve their own success. I like it.
Okay, I've got a question.
Yeah.
So in Shuhari, how do you best teach folks in Shu when they are looking for like direct inputs and not questions, when they're looking for you to answer questions instead of create them?
So let me ask you this question then. Question on a question. Are you asking this from a coaching angle, or you're giving a different spin on it?
It's from a coaching angle. Just how do you coach them in that, and to not just kind of, not always looking for answers, but begin to look for the question.
That usually, yeah, that's an awesome question. Actually, is making me think how we do things. Remember, we were talking about 21 frameworks, which coaching models, which I have learned in my PCC. There are some models which you can utilize to give them homeworks, to give them something to read about, to check with them if they are okay to explore this path by themselves. Rather than you giving all the answers up front, you tell them to bring to get to know or have the knowledge up front before you come back for another conversation.
Okay.
So that's how the Shu. Now, if you in Shu area, if you're directly answering the question, then you are not coaching. You're advising them. You're telling them. You're teaching them. That means you are telling something how you understood it, how you comprehend it. How about we give them opportunity to comprehend something by themselves? Because we know everybody's brain is different. They think different. They do things different. Give them opportunity to learn things by themselves. Let them come back and ask what they learn. And if there is a deviation where you want them to be, where they are not, then ask more questions and figure out why there is a gap and how can you fill that gap more.
Okay.
Does that help?
It does. Thank you.
That's an awesome answer. Cool. All right, Kanessa, over to you for the closing ceremonies.
The closing ceremonies. Well, thank you all for attending. I just want to let you know that Mr. Brian will be our next speaker for September, and he'll be speaking on the Agile shift testing left disaster. So that seems very interesting, coming from a former tester. I'm like, ooh, breaking stuff. So thank you all for attending. If you have any other questions, let us know. Please join our meetup or on LinkedIn so that you can keep up to date with all of our different speakers, and let us know if you're interested as well. So thank you so much. Have a good night.
Awesome. And thank you, Nash, for an awesome presentation today. No death by PowerPoint. That's what I loved the most about it.
Yes.
Very dynamic.
Yeah, it was great.